Hello guys, it's your Wheelie Girlie. I'm Jiu, and this is the Q&A video for celebrating 10k subscribers. Yay! Actually, now I have 24k subscribers. Anyway, this is my first time filming the long form video, and actually I filmed this video yesterday, but the lighting just wasn't my thing, so I'm filming this again right now. Yep. But first of all, thank you so much of all your comments, reactions, and the subscriptions for me. It means a lot. Even though I have a original channel based on South Korea, and I do have a 162k subscribers there, but it feels like it's a whole different challenge and like whole different works making video for a global audience and having an interaction with them. It's just an amazing thing, and I cannot believe that I could gain so much attentions in this short term, and I hope that I can continue both channels as well. Yep, so today this video is gonna be my first video this channel, and I'm gonna answer all of your questions that I've gathered for the post that I uploaded last month. Oh, and before I start, I do have a YouTube channel and an Instagram as well. And I do have a TikTok account. So if you didn't know about that, please go to the social media channel and follow me, please. Thank you. Okay, then let's go to the YouTube channel first. Let's see. I was really amazed how you comment me with the various topic. So the first question is, what are you studying for? And how did you choose your studies? Yeah, since I'm the university student and about to graduate, and actually this is my campus, so I think this is a really good question to answer first. Right now I go to Seoul National University, SNU, and I'm majoring in sociology and information science and culture, whatever it is. When I was in high school, actually I started YouTube channel since I was 15, and at that moment and still now, I've been made some videos about the disability advocate and the accessibility and the disability joy sort of things. So I really wanted to have a deeper acknowledge of society. Like, how is this discrimination happen? Why did people discriminate other people? And why is it this society so inaccessible for disabled? Those kind of thing. And I felt like I need a academical knowledge for answering those questions. And also I was making video at that moment as well. So that's why I chose a major to study sociology. I really want to know about the social thing more than having a technology for filming at that moment. Yep. And after this graduation, maybe you might know I'm planning to go to the UK for studying masters, and that major is visual anthropology. It's very unique, and it felt like it's just for me because I have a sociology background, and also I've worked as a content creator such a long time. So it feels like it's a kind of combination of the anthropology, sociology, and the digital video techniques. So even though I'm working as a content creator for a long time and I studied sociology in the university, but I still have that feeling that I need a deeper academic background of sociology and the digital media. That's why I decided to go to study in the UK, and I really hope everything's gonna be fine. Actually, I'm searching for the accommodation right now, and it's very hard for me because I have a cerebral palsy, so of course I need some people who can provide assistance for daily basis. So I'm planning to go to the UK with my sister actually, because she wanted to have an experience living in the abroad, and she wants to have a walking holiday on the other country. So I thought that this gonna be the perfect time for us, for growing up together. Yeah, and we can exchange some beneficial things together. But it's really hard for me to find some accommodation which is accessible and which offers a dual occupancy at the same time. So I'm struggling, but I believe that everything gonna be fine, and I hope that I can share my journey with you guys as well. Yep, I can do it. I hope so. Next question. Yeah, I've loved to hear about how you started designing and creating Willspo covers. That's a really good question. Actually, I started this project since 2022 in my OG channel. You can find my latest project if you're searching the wheelchair of the month, and that was for my like very long-term project that I designing and creating the Willspo covers with my teammates to represent this stability joy. And I really wanted to show the people that like riding a wheelchair is not a shameful thing. It can be very like joyful activities, and it can be some sort of tools that you can show off through that devices. I really wanted to share that idea, and so I designed a wheelchair like every month for 1 year. So I have these like colorful, fantastic results like here, and still decorating wheelchair. I think that's one of my very powerful identities for me, and I'm glad that I could do that. The first intention was I really wanted to just show off my wheelchairs through public. But after I was doing that project, I realized that it was not only just showing off yourself and like being pretty, but also I realized that this is some kind of activity that I can show how proud I am, like being disabled. So I started like designing the workshop as well, which can like invite other teenagers who riding a wheelchair in that workshops and making a product together. And I'm still doing a lot of things related to designing the wheelchair. Yeah, and I'm really glad that I could do that. And I'm really, really glad that other people feel the same way, that, oh yeah, it's a really unique one, and as a disabled, I'm not shameful anymore. I really want to like do sort of activities like you. When I hearing those comments, I'm so happy, and so I'm still trying to figuring out how can I expand these activities so that everyone who wants to decorate their wheelchair as well like participate in this activity and try this activity. That's why I want to like making a channel for the more broader audience and having a master's degree, like, and studying more. These activities are all related to my intention to spread disability joy and showing the disability pride and inviting other people as well. So I really want to keep moving. So if you guys can be with me in my journey, yeah, that's gonna mean very huge for me. Okay, next question. Oh, that's a really heartwarming comment. What would you like to say to your 60-year-old self? As I said, I started the YouTube channel when I was 15 years old, and I only had around 73 subscribers at that moment for 1 year, but I kept posting. So to the 16 years old myself, yeah, keep posting. One of your videos will be viral in your 16, and you will live a whole different life after that. You wouldn't believe that I'm still doing this content creating job, and I met a lot of good people from it. I got a really broad opportunities from this, so don't give up. You're not gonna believe it, but that what you're doing right now, that just changed your life and my life. So yeah, keep posting. Moving. The fun expression in Korean is when we cheer up others, we say "화이팅, 화이팅" like this, and that's actually from English. Can you guys guess? Yeah, it's fighting. I don't know why Koreans use this expression as a like cheer of other people. Maybe Korean got a temper. But yeah, so I want to say "화이팅, 화이팅." Okay, keep fighting yourself, your like reluctance and your laziness. "화이팅." Next questions. This is a really important question. What are your views toward life and what keeps you motivated? And when you get demotivated, frustrated, or burnt out, then what are your ways to lock in and bounce back? This is a really important topic to say, and I would say I'm still figuring out how can I fully recover and bounce back. This is a really hard one, right? But my point of view towards life, I don't know. It's really hard and complicated, but only one thing I have that I strongly believe from my teenager was I really wanted to spread messages from marginalized groups, especially disabled. So I believe that having a good influence to others and like finding a way that we can live together, it's really important. And I think that is the biggest motivation in my life and biggest motivation that keeps me moving, because when I was young it was really hard to find media like representing a life like me, disabled girl riding a wheelchair, having a I can't pronounce it, paralysis in their body. So I was a bit lonely and it was feeling like everyone knows their path and future, but nobody talks about how can I grow up, like what adult I can be. So that's why I decided to start a YouTube channel. I really wanted to show some sides of my life, which is really happy, joyful, and exciting. However, the media always shows the, very depressed, like painful, frustrating sides of disabled life. So I really wanted to talk to them that my life is not that sad, and I'm really glad that I can live my life as I am. And after doing this job, I met a lot of people who like me, like riding a wheelchair, have a disability, and I'm really glad at that time because I knew that I wasn't alone and I could tell them that they're not alone as well. So that keeps me moving. I'm still very glad that I can make videos and I can find others who can relate it to me and share some stories about us. That's really important, right? But, it's very hard. Of course, there's up and down in my life, right? But in the content, I need to show the public that like very positive and advocative and very strong side of me, and that's frustrating sometimes. But in the past, I couldn't show any of the negative sides of my life in my channel because people were so used to think that it's natural. Like being a disabled is sad. People were used to think about like that. But now I feel like I trust the audience, so sometimes I try to share my negative sides of my life as well. Sharing those vulnerable moments can be also very important, right? So I'm trying to do that. And also when I'm feeling completely burnt out, I'm just trying to make some blank in my daily routine. That means like as a YouTuber, I was used to carrying my camera all the time because I didn't know what fun moments can be happen like during the daily life. Now I never do that because it's so frustrating that I have to be a lot every moment in my life. It's feeling like I'm working as a 24/7. That's not good for me. It's very exhausting. So right now, for me, when I feel completely burnt out, I left camera in my home and I love putting headphones, but I don't play any music or any podcast and just keep rolling to unfamiliar places that I've never gone. Or doing a shower, organizing things. That's really helped me a lot. And I need to keep saying to me that I don't have to do everything in a 100% quality, and I don't have to be like and sometimes it's okay to take a rest. I kept telling me those kind of things. It not always work out, but I think it's important to having a proper rest and go back your daily routine. Okay, next question. What's your hobby? What's your secret hobby and what's your hobby? That's a good question and very frequent question. Actually, my hobby, I feel like I've said it before, but I'm actually very heavy gamer. One of my secret dreams is being a streamer. I've tried like making a game videos in my audio channel, but it seems like my target audience have a zero interest of gaming. So Yeah, it didn't work in my channel, but I'm a very heavy gamer. Actually, I started like playing games since I was very little, and in my Steam library, I feel like I have more than 300 games. Like gathering game is a sort of hobby, even though you're not playing it, right? Recently, I'm so obsessed with Project Zomboid. That is so addictive. I should have a limitation of my gaming times because time just flies when I play Project Zomboid. Oh my god, I can talk about the games like all day long, but yep. And my favorite game in my lifetime is Don't Starve. I feel like I love those hardcore survival games. And the Stardew Valley, of course, Sims. And other favorite game in my lifetime is Detroit Become Human. I love that game. Yep, next question. Okay, question time. What's the gadget or tool or technique that helps you the most when you're cooking or preparing to cook a meal for yourself? That's a fun question. And I would say a thick book. Okay, let me explain. When I cook, I need to move a lot of gadgets and like the food sometimes is boiling, like those sort of things. And since I don't have enough hands, I have to drive my wheelchair in the one hand. So I have only one hand, which has a really weak grip. So I need to place everything on my knee when I'm cooking. However, if the pot is boiling, there's no way I can put that boiling pot on my knee. I'm gonna get burnt, right? So that moment, a thick book really saves my life. I place the thick book first on my knee and put the frying pan, boiling pot, or whatever on my knee so that I can move around without getting burnt. So the sociology book always helps me. You know, it's very thick. I've never read that before. And it's okay to be contaminated, I would say. Yeah, so a thick book always saves my life. Next question. How tall are you? Good question. That's a fun fact, but you know, like the measurement is really different in Korea and in America. You know, America use some weird measurement every time, right? Like feet, like what was that? Miles, like those kind of thing, whatever. So I didn't know my height in feet, but now I know because I knew that Sabrina Carpenter's height and me is same. So the song, you know, is it espresso? Oh, I think it's taste. Yeah, so I didn't know about my height like as a feet, but after I heard this song, now I know because I knew that my height is same as Sabrina's height, and when I heard this song, I finally knew how tall I am. Oh, I leave quite an impression. 5 feet to be exact. Sorry for the song. Yeah, I'm 5 feet. Short. Very short, but who's gonna know? They'll never know. I'm sitting. Okay, next question. As a disabled person, how was traveling internationally? Good question. And I want to make some videos about these, like traveling internationally some days. Actually, I traveled 10 countries, like Japan, Vietnam, Taiwan, Hong Kong, Macau, Germany, Switzerland, France, America, and Australia. And I love traveling because I don't want to say some negative thing about my country, but you know, in South Korea, having a disability is still a big taboo. So, like comparing to other countries, it's really hard to find disabled people on the street. So, I've heard that a lot of international travelers were surprised by how less they can see disabled on the streets in the public. And that's because, of course, the physical accessibility is not enough and not ideal in this city. But at the same time, the social accessibility is also the problem. Like people, not every people, but some people think that they're very different with the disabled and they think they're normal and disabled is wrong, those kind of things. So of course this awareness is changing nowadays, so it's not that bad as a past, but still like showing off the disability is very real thing. And you know, if they can, a lot of people trying to hide or mask their disability. But what I really surprised when I traveled is, some countries, it's such a natural thing to, work or go to somewhere riding a wheelchair and using a public transit riding a wheelchair, right? So when I first visited Japan, I was so shocked that I could ride the bus. And what I was more surprised is like nobody cares when I ride the bus. Nobody like watch me or nobody complain that because of me the bus getting delayed, like those kind of things. It was really shocked, but I'd never ridden a bus in Korea at that time when I was 15. Yeah, it's a shame thing. We're still progressing, but sometimes I feel like I'm not fit into this society or this group. Everyone thinks that I'm different, and sometimes it's really awkward to see some people like they're just so nervous to confront the disabled because they never have interactions with them. That's a shame thing, right? So it's really wonderful to feel that my existence is okay, and that's why I keep traveling. Especially, nobody asked me, but my favorite country is Australia. That Australia is the country that I try to travel all by myself for the first time, and I spent a really good time for a 1 month and a half all by myself. And I felt that I grew up a lot at that moment as a solo female traveler and also a wheelchair traveler. And just the accessibility of the public transportation was very wonderful. Of course, there's sort of downsides as well, but as a traveler, I couldn't find any flaws in there. And also, people were so friendly. And I stayed in Airbnb when I was in Brisbane, and I met such a lovely people there, and we're still like chatting each other. So I'm so lucky that I had those opportunities, and I wanted to like share some wonderful stories about my travel so that other disabled can try to go to somewheres to abroad someday. Okay, next question. Let's go to the Instagram. I've gathered the questions on that social media as well. Let's see. I'm also a university student with cerebral palsy. Yay, sisters, CP sisters. Your videos have given me inspiration about how I can live alone. Can you please tell me how you navigate places without elevators if they only have stairs? That's a good question. Actually, maybe you also know, just every cerebral palsy is different, right? So I would say knowing your boundary, like physical boundary and ability, is really important when you navigate the daily basis. For example, I cannot like independently walk, but if I have walls that I can lean on, then I can walk longer. And if I have handrails beside the stairs, I feel like I could go more than the 3 floors, which takes me a long time and a lot of energies, but I can make it. So knowing what you can do and what you cannot do is really important when you navigate something. So for me, I would not go somewhere which is completely inaccessible so that I cannot move at all in that infrastructure. I would not go. However, if I want to go like somewhere so badly, if there's only stairs, I probably ask some help, like my family, to my friends or my boyfriend to go with me, give me some assistance to climb up the stairs. But that's a really rare case. So I usually search about that building first in the maps or the road map, or even I call to the like host to check the accessibility. And if I have strong feeling that I can move around in that building, I go. But if it's not, I wouldn't not go. Yeah. What I wanted to say is having a deep knowledge of yourself is really important when you're disabled, because based on that knowledge, you can decide where to go, what to do, who to go with, those kind of things. So, yep. I hope this is helpful advice for you. And also, I want to mention that asking some help is not a bad thing and it's not a shameful thing. Everyone needs different supports in their lifetime. So when you want to do something so badly and you know that if you have someone to assist you, then you can do that. Just don't hesitate to reach out. That's a really important, I guess. Okay, next question. Oh, this is a Korean question. I'm gonna read it. 구루님은 왜 글로벌 채널 개설하셨나요? 궁금해요. Okay, should I answer it in English or Korean? Okay, I'm gonna answer it in Korean. Please make subtitles here. 한국 채널을 하면서 좀 이렇게 정체되는 느낌을 받고 있었어요. 그렇기도 하고 제가 곧 영국으로 가니까 영국에서도 이 콘텐츠 크리에이터 활동으로 먹고 살고 싶다는 생각도 있었고 그러려면 좀 더 내가 좀 글로벌 어디언스를 타겟으로 하는 채널도 충분히 할 수 있는 사람이다라는 걸 좀 보여줘야 될 것 같아서 유튜브를 시작했고요. 그리고 또 사실은 한국은 당연히 너무 좋은 나라고 좋지만 굉장히 또 아는 나라이기 때문에 예상되는 반응들이나 백래시들이나 악플들이 좀 있잖아요. 근데 확실히 글로벌 채널을 할 때는 나를 아는 사람이 없다는 이 자유로움이 있어서 좀 더 과감한 얘기도 하게 되고 실제로 그런 얘기를 했을 때 받는 어떤 상호작용이 되게 달라요. 되게 다르다는 느낌 많이 받고 훨씬 더 이런 장애나 페미니즘, 뭐 인권 이런 거에 대한 담론이 굉장히 많이 오가는 곳이기 때문에 제 말이 그렇게 이상하게 여겨지지 않고 오히려 되게 지지받는 느낌들? 그래서 그런 안전한 감각 속에서 좀 더 창작을 하고 싶다는 마음도 있어서 채널을 열게 되었습니다. 네, 앞으로도 재밌게 봐주시면 감사하겠습니다. How was my Korean? Yes. Oh my god, I'm talking alone for 1 hour. Maybe I should wrap up this video. Okay, the final question. What kind of wheelchair do you use? It looks like a super cool hybrid. Okay, good question. I'm using 2 wheelchairs. One is Total Drive and the other is C2. And let me show you. I'm scared. It's very steep. This is the C2. I usually use this when I go outside because it has a strong power and still very compact size so that I can go anywhere. But in the dorm, I'm using a Total Drive, which is more compact and very lightweight and just fits to my body so that it makes me so much easier to change the clothes, cook, doing daily basis. And as I mentioned before, knowing your physical boundary is really important. For me, I can walk a little bit and sometimes I need people's assistance to get in some buildings. So for me, compact size wheelchair and very lightweight wheelchair is needed. And I don't need that big massive motorized wheelchair. So I chose these 2 wheelchairs. And especially that Total Drive one, I can just switch the manual mode and the motorized mode by just pulling the motor because it's basically a manual wheelchair attached the assist motor, so you can freely switch those mode, I would say. So if I have trouble to going somewhere, I just switch to manual mode and asking some help to push me or pull me. It's really easy. Yeah, and I wanted to say that riding a wheelchair was life-changing for me. Before 15 years old, I used a manual wheelchair, which means I couldn't move at all without other person's assistance. I can move around, I can go date. I can't even go to the toilet without asking some help. But I didn't know that I need a motorized wheelchair. But after I got that Total Drive for my first time, my life just completely changed. Because from that moment, I knew that I could go anywhere where I want. And that's really grows my self-independence and to just inner strength. So it isn't just about the mobility, but it's more about the independency, I would say. A lot of disabled have struggles to choose something on their own. Sometimes other people believe that they cannot choose or just they have not enough infrastructure or resources. And I know that some people think that if they choose to ride a wheelchair, they fear that they won't walk again. But that's not true. And I believe that riding a wheelchair is really the way that you can expand your boundaries more and more. Of course, I could walk a bit when I was young, but there was a limitation that I can go. It was just to the going a shop in front of our apartment. But now I know that I can go anywhere globally with my motorized wheelchair. That has a really huge impact on my life. So I really want to recommend to find your own wheelchair that fits your body and your lifestyle perfectly, and trying to have a mobility aid as fast as possible to expand your boundary. Okay, that was my last answer. I hope you guys like it. This is gonna be such a long Q&A video, so I wonder who can watch this fully. But yeah, I really wanted to talk about these things in this length because I always make videos in the very short form content, and there's always a limitation. I want to say this much, but I have to finish every content in 30 seconds. It's really hard. I'm a very talkative person actually. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video as well, and I hope to see you again in the long form content. Okay, if you have any questions or any ideas, comment me below. And I have a business mail here. If you want to do collaboration or if you want to offer an advertisement on my channel, please contact me here. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great day. It was your Wheelie Girlie. Bye bye.